singing, if you got emotional then, you should have been there. You should have been there. It was electrifying. It was awesome. It's just like Richard Joseph said, it's a memory that stuck with me forever. And I was so glad that I was part of it. Even now thinking about it, you can probably tell I'm a little emotional about it because it was I don't have the proper words for it. It was just wonderful. Let me start my little talk by saying a little bit about myself. I joined the Army Air Corps during World War II, and Ron jogged my memory on that. I had trouble with my dog tags. I kept telling them I'm Greek Orthodox. They said, we don't have designation like that. You gotta be Protestant, Catholic, or Jewish. I said, I'm Greek Orthodox. Well, the priest had told me if they press you, then say you're Protestant and go to the Episcopal Church. Okay. So I said, put Protestant. Well, I got transferred to another station. I says, I'm not Protestant, I'm Greek Orthodox. I went through the thing. I found some GI that said, okay, you're Greek Orthodox. They put GO on there. Fine, I'm happy. I go to another station, they check you out. There's no GO, so I had to become Protestant again. Anyway, anyway, to go on. After I got out of the service, went to college and all that, and I was in the church strictly for social things. My dad was a psalty, he was all in Greek, and I would go because we had a nice coffee hour afterwards and meet people and all that, okay? Well, then I got a call from a friend of mine. He says, we got some free tickets for a concert. You want to go? I said, it's free? He said, yeah. So we're going to be in Dayton. I said, what's it about? He says, there's a fellow by the name of Ernie Villas that leads the Hormel All-Girls Orchestra. And they're touring the country, and they're giving free concerts. And I said, fine, that's great, free, and there's a social afterwards. Okay, we went. And talk about unintended consequences. I talked to Mr. Villas, and I got hooked. He is the closest I know to a person being an evangelist of the Greek Orthodox Church. I mean, what he did touring through the auspices of Archbishop Michael is all free because of the musical ability of his. And he toured the whole country. He was organizing Goya chapters as he went along. So I started getting involved in Goya. I went to the national conference in Birmingham. I got hooked again. And I said, well, this is good. Andy Copan, who you mentioned here, said, you're good, I want you to start getting involved at the district level. He was our counselor for that area. He says, fine. Okay, I'll do it. Got involved at district level. So I started going to meetings, and there's always a social connected with it. In my area was went from Cincinnati to Detroit and parts of Cleveland at that time. Well, part of the socials, I met Richard Joseph, because he was good friends with Michael Botto up there, and whenever they had a Greek affair, Richard Joseph would show up. And just like you heard, he's a dynamic organizer. I mean, he was another person who should have been an evangelist, but he was that type. So I got involved with the district, and then Andy Copan said, I think you ought to start going, this thing by going to the National Council. Well, I don't know about that. But finally I agreed, and I ran for the National Council, and I represented the Michigan, Indianapolis, Ohio area, Kentucky area. Well, on my second, I got elected national treasurer, and on my second term, they said there's a CEOYLA organization cooperation of the hierarchy and the clergy, and make sure that they were going to participate in that and get their approval. The next thing was, what type of event is it going to be? Liturgy, vesper, strictly a program of some kind, musical festival? We don't know. Next thing, the site of the event. We all had to agree that all 7 organizations would meet at that site, whatever site was picked, so that their national conferences would either end or begin on that date. And the date that we thought would be the most convenient was Labor Day weekend of 1963. Now this is in spring of 1961. Okay. All groups had to have their conferences at this site. And so once this was agreed, we all took this information back to our respective organizations, and then it was discussed. And I was off the National Council after that, so I did not go to any more CEOYLA meetings where I heard all about it. But Goya felt so strong about it, I brought some, I still have my manuals, all the resolutions that we passed supporting the CEOYLA organization, and how we're going to participate. As it turned out, that everything that we had planned, the preliminary thing came to fruition. Pittsburgh was picked because that seemed like the center of orthodoxy in this country. We all agreed to that, the organization to meet at that date. We got all the hierarchy to come, and so the guys started planning. The plans of nitty-gritty, exactly what it's going to be. We finally decided it's going to be a combination festival, not a liturgy, not a vesper, but it had to get a lot of input from the hierarchy, exactly what it's going to be. So, now this was all planned. We had our Goya conference, which ended on Friday. The festival was the next day. So I was going to help usher the people come in. When we get there, some of the organizations got ahead of time. We saw some banners identifying who they are. Then we sat there and we waited for the doors to open. The big question was, are we going to get people? Who's going to come? You know, there's no tickets sold, so you had no idea how many people were going to show up. The doors opened up and they came. People, they piled in there like they were going to a rock concert. It was just unbelievable. Originally we thought, well, the Romanians were going to sit in one spot and the Greeks another spot. Didn't make any difference. They just picked the seats everywhere they were. Young, old, grandparents, parents, kids. Like someone said, brought their 1-year-old child there. You know, it was just awesome to see them piling in. I ended up having to sit on the concrete steps because there's no seats for me. You know, I got a little cold sitting on cold concrete for an hour. Then the choir started singing. Chills, like here, and the choir had never practiced together before. This is the first time. How they did it, I don't know. God's blessing, I guess. And then the hierarchy started fighting. This was emotion after emotion after emotion. And then you heard the service start, you heard Richard Joseph talk. Said, such a dynamic person. But when the program went in, the dome opened up, the sunshine flooded the stage, the wind comes whistling through, a big cross hanging over, swaying in the wind. Is this a Holy Spirit? Is this a natural phenomenon? I think it's Holy Spirit blessings. Maybe that's imagination, but that's my feeling. Now, you saw some pictures of the event, and I got some that I finally got from a friend of mine that are down there on the board back there, so get an idea of the scope of the festival. It ended, there was a euphoria from everybody. This is wonderful, you know. This is a major step. What's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? Nothing. And I mean nothing. You heard Archbishop Jacobus. This should be an event where he would come and praise us and thank us for what we're doing. This is, you know, encouraging us. build us up.
Is that the next meeting?
You heard the talk. Obey, submit and obey, submit and obey. Such a discouraging thing. That's the only downside to the whole event. Very, but again, the choir sang and everybody started feeling better, and when we left, we just moved to better days. Now, here we were, young people. You know, most of us were in our late 20s and early 30s. We were just starting out in life. Most of us going to college. We were working, getting married. We had got together and do this. Think of the energy, the enthusiasm. We were waiting for a hierarchy to come and say, let's go, boys. Organize. Let's do something. Let's build the church up like we should. Nothing. There was little, you heard there's other little festivals here and there. In Goya, and I have to speak on the Goya thing because that's what I know best. Goya started just withering away. The Archbishop started taking control of it more and more. And finally, by the end of the 60s, Goya was just a shadow itself. I kept going to national conferences. The last one was in 1968. And I don't think we in a room about twice the size as that's all we had. Before we used to build whole auditoriums. It was wonderful. It just withered away. And it bothers me because, for example, Goya, we were all young people. The seminary did not have an accredited library. Holy Cross Seminary did not have an accredited library. So Goya organized a Books for Brookline. And we were collecting books from all over and shipping them to the Holy Cross Seminary so that the library could get enough books to be accredited. They got accredited. The seminary, Holy Cross, did not have a decent chapel. They had a makeshift chapel. Goya had a fund drive to finance building a chapel for Holy Cross. And we did it in honor of our immigrant parents. That was what we wanted on the plaque. Goya, well, we presented it, we approved it, the Archbishop approved it. Got the money together, getting ready to build. All of a sudden, he said, well, I don't like this site here, I want to move it up the hill somewhat. That changed the whole building plan again. And Goya said, I'm sorry, we ended our fund drive and, you know, we don't have any more money for this. I think maybe that's why they got mad at us. But anyway, we got the chapel built, and as far as I know, the plaque is still there, showing the Goya's dedication to our Christian parents. Now, how many people here have even heard of this, of the chapel built by Goya? A few, okay. How many know about the Books for Brookline drive that Goya did? You? I mean, that was, here we were, all volunteers, all self-supporting. We did not get anything from the Archdiocese. The only thing they gave us an office, a desk with an office, and we had a young lady that was like a part-time secretary there. We were here, we were ready to do something with us, nothing. And again, I can bring back the unintended consequences. Because of seeing that free ticket, I got involved in so much stuff, so much good things, but some bitter things. I guess that's life. But I'm still very glad that I got involved. And then I heard nothing more about unity until His Eminence Archbishop Nathaniel joined OCL and kind of put the spark back in us again. So Your Eminence, I thank you for that. And anyway, people, it's a wonderful ride, and I love unintended consequences. Thank you.